It's not just any type of demand. I'm talking about individual, private citizen demand. I'm not going to keep you guessing long as to where that is, but it's a big deal, and I'll explain why in this video as we explore. Not only is it a big deal, it's also no surprise, especially if you've been paying attention to this channel for any length of time. And I'm talking about the people of Turkey. They have good reason to hold gold there. Well, we have just got a new report that demand in Turkey for gold has shot up dramatically, nearly doubled in the third quarter, according to HuriyaDailyNews.com. Gold prices hitting record highs have triggered a sharp increase in demand worldwide and in Turkey, according to the World Gold Council data, which reported that global gold demand reached an all-time high in the third quarter of this year. Yes, indeed. Now, usually the best time to buy precious metals is when the prices are lower and when not many people are talking about it. Well, for those of us who are hardcore stackers, we know this. Summit Metals is a company that knows this too. They buy and sell precious metals, have got great customer service. So check them out in the link in the description below. So yes, indeed. So Turkey is making big moves here. Now, the history of Turkey and gold goes back a long time, mainly because their currency really is not a very, very strong and sound thing. And the government knows this for sure. And the people know this for even longer. And so, and again, it doesn't surprise me, but it does surprise me that it's shot up that much considering the price of gold has risen so dramatically. But in really the cases around the world, more people are buying gold now and understanding its value proposition. I think that's great. Data from the Banking Regulation and Supervision Agency indicated that gold deposit accounts in the Turkish banking sector doubled during the same period. So that tells you something. Yes, indeed. Pretty crazy. Gold deposit accounts in Turkish banks surged by 99.1% in the third quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year, reaching 2.72 trillion Turkish liras. Yes. In the third quarter of 2024, gold deposit accounts stood at 1.36 trillion liras. So there you go. Gold is on fire in Turkey because they're so used to the government debasing their currency. They have a number of different avenues, but nonetheless, there's a revolving door of resets of currencies there in Turkey, and this is why they hold gold. You know, there's a saying, be your own central bank, and certainly the Turkish people have known that for the longest time, with many Turks hiding gold under their mattresses. Now, I myself did pick up another ounce of gold. It came in today. I'll show you what that is here later in the video. But nonetheless, in the third quarter of 2024, we did see these gold deposits at $1.36 trillion. But Istanbul, they led the country with 907.1 billion liras in gold deposit accounts, followed by Ankara with 310.2 billion liras, and Izmir with 159.5 billion liras. So it makes sense the largest cities are going to get the most activity. Among other provinces, Antalya recorded 87.4 billion liras, while Bursa followed with 81.7 billion liras. So a distribution there based off the provinces and the largest cities in the country. The share of gold deposit accounts within total gold deposits also expanded. While gold accounted for around 8% of total deposits in the same period last year, the ratio rose to 11% in 2025. Out of the 24.85 trillion liras in total deposits collected in the first 9 months of the year, 2.72 trillion liras were in gold. That's a big deal. I don't think you'll see those kind of numbers in any nation here in the West, and maybe even not per capita. Based off the ratios in any other nation around the world, maybe even China or India. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but nonetheless, that is quite telling. And again, something that does not shock me, it does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form because of what I know about Turkey. A breakdown of gold deposit accounts shows 91.3% were held by individuals, accounting for 2.48 trillion liras, while corporate accounts represented 8.7%, with 235.6 billion liras. So it is a nature that it is the individual that is doing this to protect themselves against a devaluing currency. But folks, we can learn from our lessons from Turks, and that is to hold gold, and in a sense, maybe even in spite of the price. That's one of the things why I like, the different options out there. And as I've mentioned many times, Summit Metals, they've got this cool little wallet you can fill up with these little gram bars. And we're going to fill this thing up hopefully soon. Might wait for the next dip to do that, but, we'll see. But nonetheless, that is the way you can do it. And the premiums have come down some on some fractional gold pieces out there, which is also encouraging. And I think we might see more of that moving forward as the prices move in the $4,000 range and continue to move up. Of course, who knows what it's going to be by the time you see this video, but still, you never know. It's pretty amazing to see the breakdown between individuals and corporate accounts. Deposits held by non-residents of Turkey also rose sharply. Gold deposit accounts from abroad increased by 141.2% year on year, climbing from 36.3 billion liras in the third quarter of 2024 to 87.5 billion liras in the same period of 2025. Of this amount, 82.3 billion liras belonged to individuals and 5.2 billion liras to corporate accounts. The share of non-resident gold deposits within their total deposits rose from 2.7% last year to 5.4% this year. The total global gold demand increased 3% year on year in the third quarter of this year, reaching the quarterly record high according to World Gold Council. So that's a very important factor too. Although it increased exponentially in Turkey, it is amazing to see gold demand increase 3% this year. That is quite telling. Indeed it is. And it's nice to see more and more individuals holding on to gold. Now, I've been a proponent of gold, especially since I made a major switch in 2017 to gold, largely because I felt like compared to silver, I was very low on gold. Still feel that way compared to my silver stack, but everybody has their own personal gold to silver ratio. And I would like it to be about 200 to 1 or 100 to 1. We'll see, but I don't know. It's going to take a while, but nonetheless, everybody has their own personal gold to silver ratio goals. But nonetheless, I believe it's a more stable store of value between the two metals, and you can pack a whole lot of value in a very small space like this. Think about it. 1 ounce of gold like this here, this thing would take about 80 ounces of silver in order to be the same value. That's a lot of space taking up, and liquidity issues can be there for silver, I think more so than gold, as we've seen here with the latest run up in the price and the complexity of the silver market. But nonetheless, holding gold is certainly an option that has proven itself very liquid, very compact, and very dense as well. It's about twice as dense as gold, as silver. I'll show you that here in a moment. And that comparison to look the difference between the two is pretty amazing. Stay tuned for that. The demand, including over-the-counter transactions, increased to 1,313 tons, reaching a value of $146 billion, according to the World Gold Council in their statement. The robust growth was driven by increased investment demand, which reached 537 tons in the third quarter, supported by geopolitical uncertainty and dollar weakness. Indeed, that's a common theme for sure for gold around the world, and that includes the Turks' reasons for buying it too. It's not just their currency, but it's geopolitical uncertainty and the dollar. The dollar is very important in the world, as you know, and there's concerns about the dollar all around the world. Now, it noted that central banks increased their gold purchases in the third quarter, totaling 220 tons of net gold, representing a 28% increase compared to the second quarter and a 10% increase compared to the same period last year. So that's what's happening there, as you see the global demand continue to rise. Global gold demand was 1% higher, reaching 3,717 tons, equaling $384 billion in value and rising 41% on an annual basis. That's the overall market there. But the Turks And I would love to hear from people that are from Turkey. I think I may have a viewer or two that watches this channel from Turkey. I would love to get your perspective, and if you own any gold, if you are from Turkey. Now, let me show you the gold that I got. A rare piece of gold, my second one, actually. It is the golden eagle in its purest form. That's a gold eagle, and this is a golden eagle from Samoa in its original packaging. The last one I didn't have this wrapper on it, and so I got it in this, debating whether to keep it in here or remove it. Not sure yet, but nonetheless, this is the second one. This has a limited mintage of 100, and got it for a hefty, I mean, it's about regular bullion price, maybe a little bit higher. There's a little bit of a premium to it, but not much considering. And here is the silver version, and look at the difference just in the size. Same weight, 1 troy ounce, but you can see here the size differential. This is about double the size overall, thickness, and overall. So that, it gives you an idea as to how dense gold is. A lot of value in a very, very small amount of space. It's pretty amazing. And that's been the case for a long time, but exaggerated more as the gold to silver ratio has increased. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about gold in Turkey. Pretty amazing, but not surprising. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.